What is going on, YouTube world? We are KRT Life with the Y. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and all that cool stuff. And I want to start off by saying I hope everybody had a happy Ramadan 2020 and Eid Mubarak tomorrow, because yes, tomorrow will be Eid. That's why we're all dressed up and all fly. This is your beautiful and lovely sister Kat, and I'm your brother Reza. And Ramadan 2020 has been an amazing experience. And I learned a lot during this really unique Ramadan, like about myself physically and spiritually, and like a lot of other like different things about myself, because Ramadan forces you to do that kind of stuff. But one of the things I feel like I learned the most about myself, Ramadan 2020, and just about stuff in general, is nutrition. So this year's Ramadan nutrition was my favorite takeaway that I feel like I've learned. I mean, obviously, you study the Quran, you do your prayers, and you like meditate and, become closer to self. But nutrition, man, I really took Ramadan serious this year because I kind of just jumped into it sporadically because one of my friends was just like randomly, DJ Cash ATL, boom, make sure you check him out, was like, hey, fast with me for Ramadan this year. And I was like, all right, cool.
Literally the night before.
Yeah, literally the night before Ramadan started. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll do it. So I decided to do it, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be really hard, really difficult. Let me prepare myself for this. So I started looking at nutrition. And I'm going to share with y'all what I learned about nutrition during Ramadan. So I'm fasting for Ramadan, but Sister Kat here is doing intermittent fasting.
Yes.
You want to tell people what intermittent fasting is?
Yeah, so I think most of the people kind of know it's been around for a long time, but so there's different ways to do the intermittent fasting. The one I do is 16-8. So what it means is you only eat for 8 hours and then 16 hours you fast. So typically I would eat around 11 o'clock in the morning and then eat until 7 and then be done till next 11 o'clock in the morning. And you can drink, when you fasting, you can drink water or like coffee or tea as long as there's no calories, no sugar in it. Coffee actually helps curb appetite a little bit in the morning. And I've tried it and it did work.
So what made you start trying this?
I've heard about it before, and then with our busy lifestyle and then chaotic eating, we never really have a proper like schedule. I think the only schedule I had for food was breakfast, because I like my breakfast at a certain time the way I like it. But dinners, we can have dinner at like 10 o'clock at night. And then I would go to sleep and I would feel extremely just tired and bloated, and then just I don't sleep well. And I realized that because I eat way too late and then we don't do anything else.
Right.
So I decided that I want to start eating only to a certain time. And then I'm like, well, I did some research and stuff like that. And I came to this and I realized a lot of people do it. Some of my coworkers have been doing it for years, apparently.
What have you noticed as far as changes?
So I've been doing it for 2 years. 2 weeks. 2 years. But first day was really difficult for me in the morning because I get up early. I usually out of bed at like 6:37. I start working early, and I couldn't eat till 10 on the first day in the morning. So between 8 and 9:30, I was like, oh my God, this water isn't doing anything. This coffee isn't doing anything. I was struggling. I was having a headache and everything.
Have you noticed any positive differences from it?
So that was my first day. The second day was a lot easier. The third day was completely fine. And yes, after doing it for first week, completely every day for first week, I felt a lot better. I felt a lot lighter. I slept a lot better. Like I didn't wake up in the middle of the night, because sometimes I would and I can't go back to sleep. So yes, I actually feel a lot better, and I'm not even hungry after those certain times anymore. Like my body got so used to, I don't really get hungry until 11, and I don't get hungry past like 6:37 at all.
Wow, so it works out good for you.
Yes.
So I am doing Ramadan, fasting for Ramadan, and for those of you who might not know what Ramadan is pretty much a full month of fasting from before dawn till dusk. And in the morning you'll have a breakfast and a prayer, and that's called your Suhoor time. And then at the end, at dusk, you do what's called Iftar. During the summer months, Ramadan can last easily 16 hours or sometimes more, depending on where you are geographically on the planet. It's pretty much like a Lent type thing for Muslims, except for the difference is with with Lent you can choose what you're fasting from. With Ramadan, you pretty much can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't have sex, and that includes drinking water and alcohol. You're not supposed to be drinking because that's haram. But you can't have sex, so no food, no drink, no smoking, no sex. And you're supposed to try your best to have really good spiritual and positive thoughts and blast out positivity out there, kind of like Lewis Hamilton. Positive thoughts, just sending sending positive vibes, sending positive energy. Shout out Lewis Hamilton. But so that's pretty much what Ramadan is all about. And at the end, you have a massive celebration called Eid. So the hardest part of Ramadan, and I feel like fasting in general, is making it from whatever your point A to point B might be. So if you're doing intermittent fasting like Sister Cat over here, you only have an 8-hour window where you're going to eat, and then you have 16 hours where you don't eat.
Which yours is pretty much the same, except it flipped, because yours is at night, where you can eat.
Exactly. So I have to try to eat all night for 8 hours, and then when the sun is up, I can't eat, and I have to go about my day of working, my day of doing everything, and physical exercise, because I didn't stop working out for Ramadan, and remaining spiritual and conscientious of everything that I'm doing while doing all this. So there's a few foods that I kind of figured out are some of the best foods to eat if you're doing intermittent fasting or Ramadan. So these are our top 5 foods that we're going to share with y'all for intermittent fasting and Ramadan. And we're going to start the list off with what's on our list right here. Eggs, yes. So the first, and we've done a lot of rigorous testing. I've done a lot of self-testing on this. So
pardon our green eggs. Yes. These are real ones, grass-fed.
Yes. So eggs. Let's start off talking about eggs. Eggs are relatively cheap. They're halfway easy to make. They take a little bit of time and preparation. And for the way that I'm fasting for Ramadan, when you're waking up in the morning for the suhoor, I typically wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and I try to eat as fast as I can, do my prayer, and go back to sleep. So time is of the essence. So anything that takes a long time to prepare, I try to stay away from it. Eggs, you can fry them, you can boil them. They're relatively easy. I do 4 of them. That gives me a lot of protein, and they taste pretty decent. And what about eggs for you in intermittent fasting?
So for me, I've been using eggs for breakfast, and what I do is I boil them sometimes the night before, so I don't have to do it in the morning, but and then I just make an egg salad with it. And they've been holding out pretty good. It gets old really quick. After 3 days, you're kind of like, okay,
so those are your cons? It gets old?
Gets old, yes. But see, you said they don't hold you over for a long time. They did for me, but I also ate chicken livers, which is very nutrition product anyway, and I think that might be the trick for me why it was making me full for a long time. Because once I ate my breakfast, I could have been completely fine for the next 5 hours. Yeah,
see, it doesn't work that for me. So eggs, they're cheap, relatively fast to make, but they may or may not hold you over very long, and they have a very, limited nutritious range because it's pretty much protein and whatever else is in eggs. So I guess vitamin E or whatever. I don't know what's in eggs. I'm not a nutritionist, but this is just self-experimentation that I'm sharing with y'all. So that is the first thing on our list, eggs. Number 2 on the list is bananas and avocados and other fruits. Now, the thing about bananas, avocados, and other fruits is that they are really, really good for you. But they kind of for me, they taste good. They taste really good. So that's why I like to go to bananas, apples, and fruit. Really easy to blend into a smoothie. But they take a little bit more time than I'd like to give for preparation. And they're super, super expensive. So I like using these for fasting, but it's kind of one of those things where it's you really you spend money on fruits.
Yeah, and we always have fruit, and every time especially avocados can go over almost $2 sometimes a piece. So and if you try to eat 1 to 2 a day, oh my God, that adds up quick. And that's only for one person, but we both like avocados. So it's this is very, very pricey.
Very expensive.
And I know you have to be careful with avocados because it is a good fat that we need, but it has to be done in moderation. So if you're doing smoothies twice a day and you're dumping 2 avocados a day in there, not only it's expensive, that will be a little bit too much. So you have to be careful with that.
Yes. So fruits, great for fasting, a little expensive. They take a little bit of time in preparation. So it's like, fruits are good. And for me personally, fruits don't even keep me full. Like they'll probably get me to lunch, but then after that, I'll be like, oh man, I'm ready to eat again. Do they keep you full?
No, they definitely don't keep me full. The only thing can keep me full if I make guac out of avocados. If I eat guac, they'll keep me full for a little while. But if it's just on its own, no.
Gotcha. All right, so moving on, the next thing on our list of foods that you might want to try for Ramadan, or probably should not try for Ramadan, is PB&J. And the only reason PB&J is even on this list is because my boy DJ Cash, ATL, he was starting his day off with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? You're not going to make it to the end of Ramadan eating this. So, yeah, what do you think about PB&J?
I mean, PB&J doesn't seem nutritious or something that'll give you energy for a long time, because jelly is nothing but pretty much a flavor pack in there, just
sugar.
To give it, sugar. Then peanut butter, I can see maybe it would be filling in nutritious
Nutritious
to a certain extent, but and then bread just fills you up. There is really no nutrition or any kind of value as far as energy or anything that will last you for a long time out of there.
My body burns through bread.
Yeah, so I think this is just a snack.
Yeah.
This is not really a proper meal, especially when you're fasting.
Yeah. But it is quick to make. It's relatively cheap because it's processed food.
But this is, okay, we use an almond butter. This is not cheap. This is almost $10 a jar.
Well, if you get peanut butter, it's relatively cheap.
Yes.
So it's affordable, it's cheap, it's kind of easy to make, it tastes great, but it's definitely not going to keep you filled. So we're going to move right along to the next thing on our list. Next thing is this Quaker right here. Quaker Oats. Oh my God.
Good, old, and well tested.
Yes. So this right here is like my man, this is the quintessential Ramadan cheat code or intermittent fasting cheat code. Oats are packed with energy and slow release energy from what I've read, because I'm not a nutritionist. And for me though, it works. Like it just keeps me full for a long time. It gives me massive amounts of energy. It's super easy and super fast to make. So we got this trick electronic boiler thing.
We have electronic kettle that boils water faster than a typical one.
Yes. So like when I wake up in the morning, 4:30 a.m. and I'm trying to prepare something real fast, I pour the water in there, turn the thing on, throw the oats in, boom. Like literally like less than a minute later, I got a meal ready to go that can hold me over the entire day. And it's super cheap. This whole thing is what, $3?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, the ultimate... Well, not the ultimate, but a really good Ramadan cheat code. What do you think about oats?
I don't like oatmeal at all, unfortunately. Even though I can add things to it, I still don't like it. I can have it in smoothie. I like oatmeal when you eat it in granola and stuff, but I don't eat oatmeal on its own like this. Yeah. So there's nothing I can say about this particular one.
Yeah, so there are some cons. Oatmeal is really bland and it can get very repetitive and very old really, really quick. So unless you're just a massive fan of oatmeal is awesome, but you have to dress it up and then add other things to it to make it really, really I guess satisfy you. Mm-hmm. But even if you do a bunch of stuff to it, like after 15 days eating oatmeal straight, you're going to be like, yo, WTF.
Yeah, but it's probably would be the same for most of the products. When you eat the same things over and over and over and over, it gets old. You have to switch it up. So it's very important to find several different, very nutritious foods, and then you can alternate them here and there.
But oatmeal, amazing, amazing, amazing thing. So this brings us to the end of our ultimate intermittent fasting Ramadan cheat list to give y'all all the foods that are out there. And I really wanted to make this video because before I started fasting for Ramadan, it was very hard for me to find a concise list of foods that I should be trying to eat that were healthy for me, good for me, weren't gonna make me, super overweight, because I got super ripped for Ramadan. Let me just throw that over in there. But it was hard to find a good list. So hopefully this good list can go out, and if you're doing intermittent fasting or doing Ramadan or whatever next year, this list can help you, narrow down your options and choices.
And that would help you just for everyday
For every day, because I'm not going to stop fasting after this. I'm going to continue eating. I'm going to do intermittent fasting after Ramadan because I really like the effects that it's had on my body as far as my energy levels and the way I look, I mean, you know, what do they call it? Not narcissism, but you know, what's the word? I don't know. Vainness is the what is it called of all men or something.
But yeah, anyway, all these foods are good for you for every day, and then, you know, keep your energy going. Not eating junk, because it's gonna cut out a lot of crap that you would eat. So you overall, your health will get a lot better anyway. So.
Yes. So without further ado, number 5 is Huel. Now, I know a lot of y'all out there probably have no clue what this is, but some of y'all might know what it is, because in some circles it's really popular. Until 2 weeks ago, I had no clue what this was. And then I was on the phone with my boy Ricky, and he was like, yo, man, I've been doing this Huel thing. And I Googled it, and I'm like, what is this Huel? And I'm just like, I was blown away. So I was like, I immediately made my first order of Huel.
This is not sponsored.
This is not a sponsored video. This is bought out of pocket.
Researching and trying it out.
Yes. So let me go over the pros real quick that I found of Huel. So number 1 pro of Huel is that it's so cheap. You can save so much money by eating this stuff.
Say it first what it is.
What it is?
What exactly?
Okay,
Huel?
so I don't really know exactly what Huel is, because I'm not a specialist, nutritional specialist. But we're gonna do an overlay of the back of it, and it's like a protein powder. That's like
kind of like a meal replacement.
Yeah, meal replacement protein powder-ish kind of thing. But it's so many things in one.
It's a lot better than typical meal replacement.
So, number 1 thing for me though is that number 1, it's super affordable and super cheap. Each one of these, so one container of this is 17 servings, and this is about $30-ish container, and that calculates and breaks down to $1.50 per meal roughly. So, I mean, if you eat this for like breakfast and then for lunch, I mean, you're going to save a massive amount of money, because typically I spend I looked at my bank account statement the other day, I spend about $14 to $20 per day on lunch at work. Oh my God, So it's super affordable. If you're using this for Ramadan and you wake up for Suhoor, this right here literally takes seconds to make. Even if you use a blender and put fruits in it, it still takes seconds to make. Really quick, really fast. Complete nutrition. I mean, if you look at the product nutrition facts on the back of this box, you'll see that it has like everything in it that the human body needs. Like, you don't need to take anything else if you're eating this, supposedly, from what I've been told. And you know exactly what you're putting in your body and how much of what you are putting in your body. So that's enough of me reading on the notes. What do you think about Huel?
So I've tried Huel for the first time yesterday, and I didn't have time for lunch. So I was like, you know what, let me try to mix this up real quick so I can do it. I did the way it said. I did 2 scoops, 17 ounces of water. It comes with these flavor packs, so it just gives you a little bit extra flavor, because on its own, this is a vanilla flavor, but it's pretty much no sugar, so it doesn't really taste like anything.
Yes. So it's 30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar, which is amazing.
Yes.
400 calories.
This just gives you a little bit of flavor, and I used berry, which was really good. Very little hint of berry. But anyway, so I did this 17 ounces. It took me over an hour and a half to drink 17 ounces.
Which is 2 scoops, which is 100 grams of Huel.
It is very thick. It is extremely filling. I realized from that one time that I only need to make 1 scoop and half of it, because it is way too much for me. This made me, I struggled so bad by the end. This made me full for like 5-6 hours. I couldn't even think about food. I just knew I had to eat something, because my time was up and I couldn't eat next day till 11. So I'm like, I had to get some kind of snack, which I only had a little bit of guacamole really that night. That's it. And I woke up this morning, still was feeling full. So I think this is great. It didn't taste like a regular protein shake. It doesn't have that powdery flavor taste, whatever. I can't stand that. It comes with a shaker. You just shake it up. It is pretty easy. I would suggest put it in the blender, because even though it shakes a lot better and dissolves better than typical protein powder, you still can have a little, like clumps of powder in there. But I want to try next time half, and definitely try to add fruit just to give it a little bit more flavor. But it tasted like a really nice thick smoothie and extremely filling.
Yeah. So I've done this pretty much taking this for the last week of Ramadan, because by the time we got here with shipping and everything, and I was blown away by the results. I was like, is this really gonna fill me up and get me from 5:15 in the morning to 8:30 in the night? but it actually did. The first day I took it, I think I just took it straight out of the shaker. I didn't add anything else to it. I was just like straight out the shaker, boom, I drunk it. And I had a avocado shake that from the night before, half of it, that I was going to drink just in case it didn't fill me up. But by the time I drunk this, it completely filled me up. And then I was worried because I was like, okay, am I going to be able to make it through the day just off this? But that day, I went all the way until midnight.
Yes.
Without
we got busy
eating.
and we were doing things around the house, so yeah.
Yeah, I went all the way to midnight my first go on this, and I was like, okay, maybe that was a fluke. Let me try it again. So I tried it and kept on trying it, and then I added the flavor packs, and I was like, oh, okay, this is really good with the flavor pack. I did the chocolate with the mint chocolate flavor pack, which was delicious. And then I started adding fruits to it and using the blender, and that's when I was just like, yo, this is an awesome product. Like, it doesn't have like that smell and that stickiness and that taste of like regular protein. This is almost
at
like
all.
a talcum powder.
Yeah, it completely tastes different than a protein shake.
Yeah. And it's just so fast and so easy and so quick to make and keeps you full for so long. Mm-hmm. Like, I was completely blown away with it. If you're a person that's like traveling or something.
Traveling is amazing. I think we're going to use this for our travels when everything opens back up because this is great.
Yeah. If you're a student that's like, on a budget and pressed for time all the time and money, like, this is amazing. Like I said, $1.50 per meal. Like, if you replace 1 or 2 of your meals per day with Huel, you will save money hand over fist. And it takes literally like seconds to prepare this and not seconds to consume it. Consuming it is nothing.
No, it takes you a minute to consume it. Yeah, you can't just chug it. But the thing is, the fact that it has everything your body needs, all the vitamins, all the nutrients, everything, so you don't have to worry about, oh my God, did I eat enough of this? Did I eat enough of that? I think this is amazing.
Yes. So if you're a person who's trying to like manage your weight or lose weight or gain weight, I think this product can do it all for you because it's all laid out so easily for you. 2 scoops is 100 grams. That 100 grams gives you 400 calories, and that gives you 30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar, and it tastes good. Like, I swear, this has to be a trick. Like, we're gonna find out 10 years from now that like Huel causes cancer or something. I swear to God.
Yeah, this is very mind-blowing to me. I was like, I've never tasted anything like this that's supposedly so good for you, but it doesn't taste like all the nasty shakes and drinks and meal replacements are. So yeah, this is but the fact that you stay full for so long, that was just mind-blowing. I was like, I literally probably could have made it from lunch, which I had at noon yesterday, until today without having anything else.
So that being said, Huel is our #1 fasting or intermittent fasting or Ramadan cheat meal that you can do. And I say cheat meal because this makes it really, really easy to fast. So I guess we can wrap this up. KRT Life with the Y. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. We made this video because I sincerely want to give y'all the best information I could, and I experimented on this with my own body, with our own bodies. Yeah. And so hopefully y'all find this video and it helps you next Ramadan, or if you're doing intermittent fasting, or if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight. Hopefully this helps you get to whatever those goals may be. See, Ramadan positivity. See, last day of Ramadan being positive.
Super positive today.
Sending out positivity to the world. All right, y'all. Have a happy last day of Ramadan. Have a happy Eid Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. We are out. Peace. We're going to do some cool stuff now. Laters. All right, so we forgot something that we should have put on this list as well. Kale. So, kale. Oh, man, let me tell you about kale. So, when I was doing all the reading for nutrition stuff and what is good to eat when you're, trying to get a lot of nutrition in as fast as possible to last you all day long because you're a fasting beast. Kale was one of the things I saw on the list a lot. And I tried kale. And I think I went overboard with kale. I was putting it in my smoothies. I was doing kale salads and kale everything.
And then, okay, before that, we have not had kale before. Like, we have spinach all the time in the house, but kale was a new addition to our fridge.
That was something new. So I wasn't really aware of all the side effects that come with kale. So one day I eat all this kale, right, and I get up in the morning and I'm like walking around like, man, I'm feeling really bloated. Like, all right, whatever. By the time I got in my car to go to work, I mean, I'm just farting like bombs left and right. I'm talking about long, like resonating farts like that I've never had before in my life. And I was like, okay, maybe that's gonna go away. Maybe this shall pass. This shall pass, no problem. But I was like, by the time I get to my office, it's still happening, and I'm just like, I'm like, what's going on? Like, what in the world did I eat? So I call my wife and I'm like, babe, did you put milk in that food that I ate last night? Because I'm lactose intolerant. And
so there's me on the other side, and I'm like, I made mashed potatoes. There is like 3 tablespoons of milk in the mashed potatoes.
That's right.
So like,
because I had mashed potatoes and steak for
dinner.
I
was like, you just had cake 2 weeks ago that we made, and it has a lot more milk in it, and you were fine. I'm like, this is not the mashed potatoes, and I'm like, that's strange, but okay.
So I was like, yo, like what is going on? So like I'm like thinking of everything that I ate, and because I was fasting and knew everything that I ate, I Googled Kale Gas, and as soon as I put kale and G, all this stuff popped up talking about how kale can give you the most extreme gas in the world because it's a very tough plant, a fibrous plant. When the only way for your body to digest certain parts of it is with massive amounts of like stomach acids and stuff that creates fermentation inside your belly, which can make you really, really farty pants. And I was Captain Farty Pants for the whole day.
Good thing that because he's a central employee and there's very minimal amount of people in the office right now.
Yeah.
Because usually that office is full of people. Yeah. I mean, all kinds of people. So that was probably definitely.
You ever seen like those cartoon farts where the person farts and like the green gas just comes everywhere around them? That was me for the whole day. So if you eat kale, be careful, be mindful of this, and don't get on an airplane if you ate kale. Like, please, just for the sake of everybody around you. Anyway, that's it. Ramadan Mubarak, Eid Mubarak, KRT Life, like, subscribe, comment. Peace.